Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from the Post Millennial dated August 18th. And I did a video a while ago, I don't even remember how long, but a few months ago about something very similar to this. Not the governor being sued, the Washington governor that is, but about this particular law. So the article here says Washington Governor Jay Inslee sued over state-sanctioned kidnapping law that lets minors access sex changes and abortion without parental knowledge or consent. And that's evil. I mean, why they think parents shouldn't be in control of their kids' lives, I couldn't even begin to tell you. So yeah, it says this law is illegal, unconstitutional, and evil. Yeah, it's all those things. So I figured I'd do this as a follow-up. So let's go ahead and see what it says. It says a nonprofit filed suit against Washington Democratic Governor Jay Inslee and other officials to stop the enforcement of legislation passed by the Democratic controlled state House that critics have claimed is state sanctioned kidnapping, which it is, by allowing shelters to take in children seeking sex changes or abortions without parental consent or knowledge. Says America First Legal, as the AFL, sued Inslee, the Attorney General of Washington, and current gubernatorial candidate Bob Ferguson, and the Secretary of the Washington Department of Children, Youth, and Families, Ross Hunter, to stop the enforcement of Senate Bill 5599, a new law that allows shelters to take in children struggling with gender dysphoria and potentially provide them with life altering care, potentially including sterilization, without parental consent or knowledge. Yeah, I mean, think about that. I mean, think about a state making a law saying, if something bad is happening to your kid, you're not allowed to have control over it if they run away from home. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, how bad can that be? Says according to a release from the organization, the recently signed legislation creates a dangerous incentive for minors who disagree with their parents on gender affirming care, or, as we like to call it on the right, which is what it is, which is child mutilation, says to run away to take a shelter or host home. The new law takes away a requirement of notice to parents. And this is the embedded tweet from America First Legal saying that they're doing the suing. So it says, furthermore, the law authorizes the state to refer to a minor or refer a minor for behavioral health services without defining what this entails. In practice, this means that young children who run away from home could be receiving chemical sterilization drugs or even genital mutilation without the consent or knowledge of their parents. And I would think that if this does actually happen, the parents should have every right in the world to sue whoever does any of this stuff to the child, whoever gives them any type of drugs or who does any type of surgery. The parents should be able to sue them and win, you would think, but we have a backwards ass country right now, so who knows if that would actually happen. At least the winning part. Says this new statute deprives certain parents of their fundamental rights under the United States Constitution to direct the care and upbringing of their children. Yeah, it just shouldn't even be certain parents, it should be just deprives parents. But okay, but yeah, I get the sentiment of the statement there, the sentence. Says America First Legal is proud to defend parental rights and to stand up against the insidious gender affirming care agenda, which promotes using experimental medical procedures and drugs on minor children, potentially altering their lives forever. Yep, that's 100% true. And if Republicans out there, if you want to win, in 2024 and just going forward, here's another issue that you should go ahead and hop onto is defending parental rights. I mean, look at what Glenn Youngkin did in Virginia. I mean, he basically turned his campaign into pro parental rights and won the election because his opponent decided to go anti parental rights, which is just stupid. Basically, telling people that you're not in charge of your own kids. I mean, you want to win the independence? That's how you do it, is with that right there. Talk about inflation and parental rights. You're gonna win, probably win forever. So Stephen Miller, a former Trump advisor who leads the nonprofit, said in a statement, America First Legal is leading the courtroom charge against radical transgenderism and the sexual exploitation of our children by militant gender activists. No state action more frighteningly illustrates the threat to our children than this law. This sick, authoritarian law essentially allows the state to kidnap children from their parents and hide their whereabouts to surgically and chemically mutilate them, and to formally deprive their parents of any legal ability to stop the medical disfigurement of their sons and daughters by gender extremists targeting their children. I see nothing wrong with that statement. That seems 100% true. And he adds here, this law is illegal, unconstitutional, and evil. This litigation is about saving our children from those who abuse their innocence, torment their minds, and disfigure their bodies. America First Legal will be unrelenting in the struggle to save the rapidly vanishing civil, legal, and medical rights of kids, moms, and dads in America. Um, and then an embedded tweet here, Ari Hoffman is one of the main people here at the Post Millennial. He says, notice that like the assault weapons ban, Inslee signed this at the Capitol so no one could protest. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Then it says, despite massive pushback, protests, and letter writing campaigns, Inslee, in a closed ceremony, signed into law the controversial Senate Bill 5599 in May, which critics say encourages minors to run away from home to receive gender affirming care and maternity services, which is just another word for, or another phrase, I should say, for abortion, without parental consent and at taxpayer expense. In plain English, sex changes and abortions. Right. Yeah. Okay. So the next sentence to clarify that there. This is introduced by far left Democratic State Senator Marco Leas. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Again, don't like mispronouncing people's names. He's co-chair of the LGBTQ caucus. The legislation allows shelters or host homes to provide housing for runaway minors without being required to notify their parents if they have a compelling reason to keep the information a secret. And why does it always come back to the fact that it's someone with these particular alphabet letters putting in this type of legislation, or it's like the same with that guy in California who's just awful. Like, why is it always them? Makes you think. Because according to the law, a compelling reason means the youth is in the host home or seeking placement in a host home to perceive or to receive protected healthcare services. So the legislation allows shelters to contact the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, so DCYF, instead of the parents should the child be seeking an experimental sex change or reproductive services, but does not require proof of abuse in the household nor even an allegation of abuse. Well, that's kind of broad as hell. Says as a result, merely seeking protected healthcare services is enough of a reason to keep the runaway's location hidden from parents. Children between the ages of 13 and 18 can stay at these facilities without their parents' knowledge for an indefinite time while seeking services related to gender dysphoria and gender transitioning. Republican legislators voted unanimously against the bill. So yeah, so this is basically just state sanctioned. I cannot talk today. It's state sanctioned kidnapping and also child abuse is what this is. State sanctioned child abuse. So what do you guys think about this in the comments below? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.